Okay. Thank you so much for coming back, spend time with us. This is, of course, very attempting to celebrate our Independence Day, even next day of Independence Day, but still, I think people's waiting for a year to this day. But it's really great online and in here, in person. We still have go through few pages today, and then tomorrow we will have another wonderful chapter that once in our life we need to go through this. That's important. But should we chant something or not, Lincoln? Should we chant something or?
Chant whatever you like.
Okay.
Do you want to do opening prayers?
Yeah, short prayer.
Okay, so on page 5 is the prayer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment reach.
By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Page 5.
Dagi jeso jebe sonam je drola penje sanje droparsho.
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering in the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Nam kadang yampin samche dewa dang deve kiran dambar jurche dunga dang dunga gidan drawar jurche dunga mebe dewa dang midrawar jurche Nyeren chadang nidan drawe dang omla nebar jurche.
Chick.
Oh.
The Yale Yule.
What they say? Anything?
Dilly dally.
Oh yes, that's what I thought there should have in English. What
Maybe.
does that mean?
Yale Yule. To not really do anything. Be kind of careless. Dilly dally, not do anything important.
Exactly. But however, many of us take it very seriously, yeah? Even we think certain instruments putting in a certain way is so important that and there is an old story, I think a Chinese Confucius, he's very kind of righteous man, which means you need to wear properly, act properly, say properly, and everything is so constrained that you even cannot move naturally. And now I don't remember exactly. He cared very much about all the rites of sacrifice, rites of any that gatherings, and then they need to do some maybe cow or sheep or goats sacrifice, and they do rituals. And I think some of others complaining that we should not slaughter these poor animals and so forth. He's scolding them. That's what is your time concern. I need to do all the rites properly without slaughtering these animals. How I can do my rites inappropriately, it's that kind of situation we know, and those what we humans have. But if you want to even make more tighten or more loose, that's just our choice. So these texts is showing that there is another avenue of doing it, but that's up to us here. Rights and righteousness sometimes goes together, sometimes very awkwardly married together, and we never know. And we see sometimes we listen too much to the gods, I think. Abraham, do you remember? He needed to sacrifice his son because God told him. And we could be in that situation too, There is human mind is very easy to manipulate. Anyway, so that's another story. And should we read or what?
Yeah, one really quick question that I
Yes.
have. For the interfere,
Yes.
was that chutok che? Chutok mache?
Mhm.
So it's ba yata cha shamshi chusa
Chu.
ani gao ta narutoka sa.
What they say in English? Anything?
Yeah, interfere, meddle, or
Yeah.
chutok mache is like mind your own business.
Yeah. And sometimes Tibetans say child is playing. Don't disrupt. Jutomachi.
Chutok mache.
Yeah.
So the word for don't interfere, the chutok is the kind of the word for interfere. It's the wily, which was the question, is BYUS space GTOGS, and then it's space MA space BYED. It is BYUS GTOGS and then BYED, if you look it up in the dictionary.
B what? BV?
BYED. Chuto
Cheba.
Chepa.
Okay. Is that English word you have better?
Mind your own business. Don't stick your head where it don't belong.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So anyway, that's if something that can stop interfering, that would be good. It's hard to do when we say in the Tibetan, "Make so la chakbe, make so la chakbe,
Zuk la cha.
make so la chakbe." It's blink. You talk much.
Meek, suk, la, chak, pe.
It's not coming. It's gone. There's the other one. This continue. Jie ro la chak pe. Jie ro la chak pe. Nyamo chak chu sing.
Marmo.
Nyamo
Chak.
chak chu sing.
Chak shu. Hakos. So if your tongue gets attached to flavors, delicious flavors, then the tongue, or the nipa,
Nyamo chak chu sing.
you will be grasped, you will be held by the iron hook of sweetness.
No.
Or sweets.
Yes, through or once your tongue is attached to taste, for example, fish are captured by hooks.
Oh,
Nyamo.
nya.
Nyamo.
Nye symbol, ngarmo.
No, not.
Oh, nyamo.
Suk, make suk la chakvi. Pongwa me to tom. Your eyes are attached to, or while your eyes touch to the forms, it's like a bees trapped in the flowers, petals. So that's kind of course, we have automatically have these, and especially these two eyes are not good thing for us. And it says that chachung make jun tona konkar sem dang hyok ser. Maybe it's even more difficult. When eyes sees the valuable objects, your mind is possessed by demons, which means usually people want to rob or thief or steal anything. First see, and then maybe mind is lured by that. So anyway, don't worry. We are not like that. We are just not interfering this stuff. So we are safe. Anyway, we can read here better, yeah? So we take care of what we, in the daytime, good things happened. We bad things happened. So things happened. So is what? Wali things.
So if good things happen during the day, don't get involved. Just mind your own business. Or don't interfere. Bad things happen, don't get involved.
It's not don't get. Now we are describing
Okay.
our situation. We are good at that, so we would not do that.
Don't engage.
No, we would not do that.
We would not do that?
Yeah, we will not engage.
Yeah. Good things happen, we will not engage.
Yeah.
We will not interfere. Bad things happen, we will not interfere. So things happen, we will not interfere.
What is so in English?
So?
Yale.
Oh, dilly-dally. If there's dilly-dallying going on, we will not get involved.
Yeah. And then in the night time, we take care of that too, because we if we don't sleep, or we cannot sleep, now you know we can meditate and fall asleep. And that meditation also carry out, or through the meditation, that also take care of whatever normally what we call nightmares and other dreams are. We are not also interfering with that. Okay, on page 109, if you have online, they will project Tibetan phonetic, but if not, then wait until the English part. Ni joro yo do me long chen de za nang o yin so shir zhen be rar wan zhen be du ngang ge she xiao me rong yun yi xi gong ba wo te dren do tong men do far me sen do sun za le rar wa xiao do jo yin ling jiong xin yin jing ang zo xia yin se ma to yu ban ga me be se dong ju ju ro kong yong me xi ba yin yi mu zong de xiang ma ta rong ye rong ya rong su chu wan nyong mo le da pa cha tham xie jia za le ru wa xia wei chung chu la nian bo song yi tar wei lam ni jiang za le ru wa xia wei chung chu Ning ga za le ru wa ye xia wei ngo xin ang de ma chung jiu ba ne hong yang ru nyam xin ne yu ba nyam jin jung jun de man de rong ya jiu ya jun de do ba je. Maybe we can read.
So then we are on page 109, starting with even sleep. Even sleep is the primordial vast expanse occurring naturally. Expressions of dynamic energy are absorbed into the ground of being, into the basic space that is its essence, so that all the elaborations perceived as a display subside as a matter of course. This is the enlightened intent of naturally occurring timeless awareness, in which nothing need be done. Thus, all desirable, undesirable, and neutral mental states in which the three poisons arise as a display due to dynamic energy occur within basic space, arising within the context of that space. Since they occur only within basic space, not straying from it in the least, without trying to anticipate or manipulate them in any way, it is crucial to identify basic space itself, for as soon as you rest in that context, they will subside naturally, vanish naturally, and be free naturally. Moreover, all afflictive emotions, karma, and habitual patterns are magical expressions arising as a display due to dynamic energy. Antidotes that bring improvement, even the path to liberation, are magical expressions arising as a display due to dynamic energy. So both arise timelessly as a display due to this energy. It is crucial to rest without contrivance within the state of recognition. They are equal in mode, equal in manner, and equal in stirring from the ground of being. They occur circumstantially, are compounded, and do not transcend causality. So it is essential that you transcend causality, resting naturally, resting imperturbably.
다 나도 주인도 나를 대베이나 근데 짐바다 잘 거와 배 개체 모임 송도 어때 근데 나 검잡 디게 춘이 경험을 검대바이나 짐바다 잘 춘이 경험을 검대바이나 근데 잠시 롱슝킨 도미 롱첸레 송단도나 주마마인비 Dumani he Timber. Tinal ne devayana, then it's our Karcharion and no Karchanayon, Tingal part temne, Donna Trubatamki, maybe wrong he. Simi wrong water. Neta words.
So then, if we look at the treasury of the expansive reality, this Chuying Zu, then the really important thing is for us to meditate without any grasping whatsoever. And if we can meditate in this way, then all aspects of reality arise as the nature of the mind. So even if we're sleeping, then it is just the experience of the primordial self-arisen vast expanse. And we see that, everything is just the energy of that arising that dissolves back into the ground of the expanse of the essence of the nature of the mind. And so there is, nothing to grasp in that state. Everything naturally subsides within that.
Tene tanging Andoba and the all desirable, undesirables English non do tindu, then Doba saying Roland Doba Yubatata, Roland Doba Meba, then the Parmas and Tanda Nazo Nimukin Nom Capsu. Do ya hit on them then, the Gamikin on Mombuch, Shergiores. To that time, he took some Jital Shariamores on the Toksums and do ya hit on them servo. Tea tsars and a tig in New Patel Danny, then a Shariama. Tamchi de and Sharsa de Chuji in Shariama, part Thames Timdion, chewing Tingol, Temdogores, chewing Telemato, and Rosakaya, your Maris Tindu, Natsuki, Jugo Maris, Septan, Jujur Koyam Mejibas, Natsuki, Zimbatan, Jujur Koyam Mejibara, Rangar Shakwaina, Tene Tingant, Trondogres.
So here then, all the desirable things, the undesirable things, and kind of indifferent, neutral aspects of mind, all these different things, everything that occurs in mind arises as the energy, the energetic display, it arises from the energy of the, three poisons. And so all these things appear as this arising energy of afflictive emotions, the desire, hatred, ignorance. However, as these, displays of these, desirable, undesirable, indifferent states of mind arise, they arise within the expanse of the mind, so they come from the expanse of the mind, and then they also settle back into the expanse of mind, and where they appear is in the expanse of mind, so they never are separate from the expanse of the mind. So instead of engaging with this energy that arises from the expanse of the mind, if we can just instead rest without contriving, without anticipating or having any concept about these things, not engaging with them at all, and just recognize this expanse of reality itself and rest within that, then everything is naturally liberated.
Tak ngatsol kale khahu te khare yorsana troll said your troll was it liberation. Te chol seduji jurwaji tep gobaji higoro. Korwale nyangalende ba topkaya no. Nawan del takbe madabe nawale takbe nawan jorgova dawa. Tate ngaso higoro. Te indu tene ngaso ke namju samno tong tanda ngone pecha nangla lawa nimpo te tes Nderwa che tobiate, this Galior, Kadasana, Dana, Rang He, Rang Hiar, Rang Troll, Dovan is no, and
Ram Shi.
they will subside naturally. You know, naturally in English, what does it give? What does naturally mean?
Naturally,
Naturally.
Naturally.
yeah, like from nature, our human nature, whatever comes, nature not fabricated.
Mm-hmm. No, not fabrication. Not artificial.
Ideally organic, non-GMO.
Yeah. But Tibetan is a little bit, when we say the cup is liberated naturally, it seems cup and the nature, cup's nature seems different, yeah? But the Tibetan is wrong as itself. Itself means this cup does not tanda purban tong de banderwa. The wrong te tar the chundo gresen mato tig nature then tig wrong hill then gresen marwa. The Hindu korwa pangme nyangelen de basayate top maresa. Korwa ndeni wrong nyangelen de bares. The Hindu gom jabe kapso troll sayade nzimba higogore mato nawan yorgoya marwa. Nawan yor soina tene njurwa temdogorwa. Tanda tig inchi tola naturally sayate na tanda puki den la rang sayate ni des cheba yosarit. Tonda kitchen porta.
So earlier, before this discussion about naturally, Khenpo was saying the most important thing for, the hardest thing, especially in the West sometimes, is to talk about liberation,
Not only West, I think.
but maybe for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone.
One of the hardest,
Except us.
for everybody else.
Yeah.
No, for the hardest thing for us people, for people, is liberation. This term, dro in Tibetan, is to be liberated. And the hard thing about it is because when we think about being liberated,
I think in translation say be free. So that's just what we are talking about, yeah.
right, so here,
Either we use free or liberated, these things, yeah.
right, so and be freed naturally. So the hardest thing is this term being free, being liberated, being free. And so we think we have this idea that something needs to change. And so we have this idea that if we are in cyclic existence, suffering in cyclic existence, we need to get to nirvana, to enlightenment, some other place we need to go to. If we are experiencing impure phenomena, then we need to experience pure phenomena. We need to change them. And so here, we have this concept that something needs to change. But really, there is nothing, it's tricky to look, and see this in a text. And so then Khenpo started to talk about this term, here that's translated as naturally, which in Tibetan, the term is the syllable rang, which rang means self. And so another way to interpret this last line, so it says, they will subside naturally, vanish naturally, and be freed naturally. We could say, will be self-pacified, self-vanishing, and self-liberated. This is the key point of being self-liberated, or self-freed. And so this self thing is key. And so this is a really subtle key point. When we talk about, a cup being, if we talk about it being freed on its own, if we say the cup is naturally freed, it kind of has a different flavor. Is naturally freed. But if we say it's freed on its own, the cup by, its inherent nature on its own is freed. And so here, we might think that, in order to attain nirvana, we have to give up samsara. We need to abandon samsara. But here, ultimately, the ultimate nature of samsara itself is nirvana. And appearances aren't something we have to change. We have to let go of our grasping at appearances in a dualistic fashion. And when we cut through our grasping at appearances, then we are liberated, or freed on ourself. We are self-freed. We are self-liberated. So naturally freed, naturally liberated might be a little different than self-liberated, self-pacified.
Yes. Do you need... See.
See, thank you. So, if I'm understanding correctly, let me rephrase it in a different way. The cup doesn't have an intrinsic identity. We identify as a cup because that's how we know it in our relative reality, right? But when you say it self-liberates, is that if we are able to detach from the idea that it's a cup, then we are able to release the grasping from the concept. Is that what you're trying to say?
That is one way of saying. There's many ways of saying. Earlier we have, we can find a phrase, but me pon, me len, me jong, me jor, me ta, me gong, yeah? Mm-hmm. So there is a practice that has ponwa, lemba, jongwa, jurwa, tawa, gomba. Soon as we think, even we are thinking, the cup is we are imposing or imputing our imputation. Then we already have a dualistic mind. Mm-hmm. And then automatically could be we need to liberate some way, whether need to cup change or whether our mind needs to change.
Our mind needs to change, our imputation.
No, I mean, that two options will come. Either one of them is still involving Gyurva, yeah? you need to change, transformation. So here it's not really taking transformation. Once you disengage, it liberates itself with me, nothing to do with us. And there is not liberation taking place because that's what we labeled. But we are just letting things be what may they are, what it is. So that's disengage here is very important in this point. Maybe you can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, Khenpo was bringing up this phrase earlier that's on page 105 that says, do not renounce them, indulge in them, refine them away, transform them, look at them, or meditate on them. And so, in other contexts, in other like Dharma teachings, there are kind of different, this is a reference to different kinds of other practices that one could do. But here in the Dzogchen tradition, when we don't conceptualize or grasp at things in any way and just let them, be without any clinging or dualistic fixation, then everything is naturally liberated within that alone.
Yeah, it's a very, of course, very fine line. Of course, we are automatically kind of built in this conceptual realm. Then yor tang yurjien kin zimbate ta nga sol yorwa. Te yoba indu then trolwa saya te yona yorji tang yongogore yona yurjien tang yongogoro. Te indu ta nga so zambala yor tor mago na sem tor gogre sambe te ngaron sok sem tor gogre sambe ki nawa te yoro. Ta sem tor ver shebala yong 샤와 찍을 때는 졸고그러 졸스도 샤와로 자책으로 verb it's action verb yeah need to troll 샤와 효살바이나 되네 나 샤위 요르지요 바로 샤위 요르지요나 샤와요 샤위 요르요 셰바뽀요나 되네 텔 코르솜생다 요르젠 다 되네 자와 시 솜유 되바이나 되네 텔 무슨 코르솜지 믹바서 컨셉으로 되는데 레라오 되네 라운드로 차고요 말이 그래서나 이제 맞디요 차버려 단단 가서 곰 잡서도 적chen 곰 잡서도 곰 잡고요 말와 가서 곰 쓰도 대 땡엔지를 마도 곰 말했어 라버로 되는데 깔레요래 이나 저 삼노 방야요래 스트네 다 공원에 잡도 랑 스몰 따세네요 디기 샤바트 비주 당고 그래 이나요 드나 따샤 당 따이 당 되네 다나 따비 요르통 따워 쉐바포통 디기 샤와솜도 요 말와 템메바 인도 다 요르톤의 초래 당 요르젠 톤의 초래세 디기 너나 대용 남토레스 다 요르톤 초래세 요르톤 초래다 요르젠 톤의 초래세야 디 트르바지 요레세 다 남토로 근데 인도 다갈래 요리나 맞죠 카운터톱 되네 곰 잡아이나 칼레 되네 다 라운더서야 돼 차가야 너나 주토 메베 토네 로거 샤샤고이나 텔레 트르바세 요리 맞도 된 유르바테 고세요 말마
So we have this experience normally that we relate to things through as subjective experience from our own perspective and objective experience, like things and people outside of us. And so when we talk about being liberated or freed, we might think, okay, if, I'm seeking, liberation, freedom, if I want to liberate things, something needs to be liberated. The term in Tibetan, drol is like kind of a transitive verb. So it needs like, something needs to be liberated. So like, we might think, well, then it's our mind that needs to be liberated, not all the objects out there. So our subjective mind, we got to liberate our subjective mind, but that's not it. Also, too, in the Dharma text, they have this kind of concept. They talk about the 3 spheres. So the 3 spheres, hopefully this is easy to understand. It's our subjective experience, the subject, that's like us, our own perspective. The objective experience, things outside of us, people, places, things, other, And then the third is the actual activity. So there's like a subject, the object, and the activity. And so in a lot of the practices, it talks about going beyond concepts of these 3 spheres, the subject, object, and activity. And so when we talk about self-liberation, being self-liberated, it's really interesting because automatically our minds might go to a concept of ourself, the subjective aspect of this being liberated. But really, all 3 aspects are being liberated. The subject, the object, the activity. When we let go of our grasping at things as being a dualistic reality, when we meditate in Dzogchen, really, it's not an actual meditation. There's nothing we're meditating on. There's no focus. What we're doing is letting go of clinging and resting without doing anything at all. And so, ultimately, earlier, Longchenpo was saying, really, meditation here is just a samadhi. It is a meditative absorption, but there's nothing to really meditate on. So it is a sustained continuum of, a state of recognition, recognizing the nature of the mind without duality. And so here we look at the mind, but there's not like a subjective us looking at an objective, our own mind. So there's no really duality there. And so this is kind of strange when we talk about things in words, because we think, oh, we have to look at our own mind. So we're thinking about us looking at our mind, and we think of things dualistically. But here, when we look at our mind without any grasping or dualistic fixation, there is no duality. And so thus it is self-liberated within that. And so outside of this, our concepts of a self, our concepts of like, our concepts of subjective experience, objective reality, and activities that take place between that, these are really just ideas. They're concepts. They're discursive thoughts. Outside of thinking that subjective things exist, objective things exist, activities between them exist, they don't really exist. We just grasp at things as if they are, as if duality really exists, but that's just a concept. And so this is really subtle. So here in Dzogchen, we're not meditating. We're not doing anything. We're just resting, recognizing the nature of the mind within all reality. And so it's really subtle. And so this is something that can take, some time and effort to or take a little bit to understand. So whatever we can do, at this point is useful. But ultimately, we are liberating things. We are liberating and reaching liberation through just resting, without contriving, without fabricating, without doing anything. That's the source of liberation. It's not that we are changing things at all. So we're not trying to change anything or transform anything to gain liberation or freedom. Just through resting alone, then without any concepts, things are naturally freed or self-freed.
It's yeah, I'm sure it's not answer, but it's just process. Yeah, everything's process. And I think this may be the last line of this we can repeat. There are subsides naturally, vanish naturally, and be free and naturally. So these three things happen. Rang hi, rang ya, rang zhou. 가르치니 그런 랑 히트 차고 랑 히와 차노 거래 가르치니 아니 이 랑얄튼 거래 그때네 때네 통만 니는 요 만용 바인 바당 초 만용 바인 비좀 생기 그 야르세난다 메바 따르트 차고요 메바 임바 그런 희네 메바 임바데 메바 따르트 차고 있는데 텔라 그 야르세네 맞아 용 요바지 메바 차고 텔라 야르세네 랍토마 요바지 메 시와 마인바지 시와 차고라 시와 차서는 대랑 시세네 노말 그 랑 카르 임바데 되네 대다르트 차서는 텔라 네 랑이상 랑야 랑도 때서 텐데레 텐데 갑갑상아서 되는 코르베 낭 데와 테나히데 텔라 투어서와 마토 넬 로스 주로지 주로와테는 좋을거 같다 템메바 갑가 하코나요 보여서레스.
So here, if we read this last line, we could say they are self-pacified, self-fading, or self-vanishing, self-liberated. And so there's this key point of them being self-pacified, self-vanishing, and self-liberated. And so normally we might think that, we are taking something that is not liberated and we are making it, liberated. We are making it pacified. We are making it vanish. But here, all these different mental states that it's talking about here in this context, all the different things that could arise and experiences of the universe that could arise in the mind, from the very basis, they are already naturally, self-pacified. They are, when we don't manipulate the ground or fabricate anything, they are naturally freed and pacified. They are naturally, vanished as being substantial. And so we're not actually altering or changing anything in the ground by remaining and recognizing the true nature of things, their true ground, their true basis. Then all appearances, all experiences are naturally liberated and freed on their own, as long as we don't try to, conceptualize or fabricate anything related to them. So if we try to change them, then we can't, because they are already naturally freed, naturally vanished, naturally pacified.
Thank you. And we read further, maybe all the way to chapter 11. That's our plan, every day, one chapter. And of course, we may never die, so we will have time to discuss. Even if we die, we could not die. We should somewhere in atmosphere, or come back, or nicely. So especially if you like the Sangha group, temple here, maybe come back here, so don't worry. Then okay, we can.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to come back?
Look. Come back as a rainbow.
Okay, good. Then Joson Tibi answer the Lamenon La Memashin de Son Jokorwangi Nimbo Dembanj Chondim Ni Don Gombalona Joson Gonjor Nam Taming and Don Devi Rabson Tiba Jarbu Don Garzon Tamba Namla Tenshin Durna ka no yursim jena la nyimbo men ju zurvi ma bomba rong ya jo ya rong ba bribin de do tham ji ribin char sur la long dur ni so song he se ba jen ko no yur nyam ma bo ngo ya Kanshir sim nyamen tenrik jimi zan nigan zang nyang ga zhung qing wa zang tong la pung nyang shimi nong wa zang yun na ri nyang xing na jimi zang lo nang wa nyang ji na nang ka zang yur sim ni mi hun nong ta ka zang Tedresi shi kundu sambo don jervi sinjo sara rikbanze tedra chuna yunya minya Nonyam donya denyam zenya be punyam be zurun chingyan guntong ayir minyam ba jembara jamdoro Smere ba chembara jamdoro chi jome thanya chembara jamdoro chi yoyin rumbo jindole jenong hanyam takbardem levada chukjik ba o.
So then, we are on, is it page 111? So where it says, this is the very pinnacle. This is the very pinnacle of the sublime secret approach. Do not speak about it to those of lesser aptitude, but keep it extremely secret. By being misinterpreted, the teachings concerning the heart essence will be distorted. Exaggeration and underestimation are at odds with enlightened intent. Those who violate the bounds of secrecy fall endlessly into the lower states. Therefore, the legacy of the most majestic and utterly secret spiritual approach is taught and entrusted to holy people with good fortune. In brief, whatever circumstance manifests, whether as sense object or state of mind, do not apply antidotes or make an effort to abandon it. For the key point of naturally settled awareness is to rest naturally, to rest imperturbably. Though all pleasure and pain are ways in which awareness rises, you are bound to conditioned existence by reifying them dualistically as things to accept or eliminate. Whatever appearances manifest are equal as sense objects, simply whatever is evident to the sense faculties. Whatever thoughts arise are equal as mental events, simply conscious states that leave no trace. Both are equal in the moment, simply the bonds of denial or affirmation. In actuality, they are equal in the final analysis, nothing but appearances that have no basis. Sense objects are equal in their distinctness, upon examination simply leaving no trace. Ordinary states of consciousness are equal in essence, upon analysis nothing but space. Objects in mind are non-dual, simply pure open space. Whoever understands things in this way is a descendant of Samantabhadra, a sublime spiritual heir of the victorious ones, a master of awareness in the highest sense. Thus, phenomena are equally existent, equally non-existent, equally apparent, equally empty, equally true, and equally false. So cast aside all antidotes that involve renunciation, all concerted effort, all binding fixation. Expand into supreme equalness, in which sense objects do not exist. Expand into supreme awareness, in which ordinary mind does not exist. Expand into supreme purity and equality, in which flaws do not exist. This is the 11th section of the precious treasury of the basic space of phenomena, demonstrating that manifest circumstances equal to space in extent are pure.
If we go back to 111 page, there is a summary or a brief. In brief, you can see the paragraph start with in brief. Dorna, the tang digi lewun digi ten ta juba tawa gumba juba. Inare ta tingung get and shamandurna, ta zoking get our gumba juba say a tea, karan nayona, kar shariona, jen karan trayona yon, nyembo tenjo maris, nyembo senangazo, tene tanando inare, ngaginare, nyomo big nyembo dene, tene nyomo ba, pawa, jurva, sheba. La sopa tenrichigorwa. Oh, nyembo minjuksene, nyembo te tenjo maris. Nyembo tenne zurwig gone pang juyo marela, pang topge marela, pate pangwate zokchingi. Tagum jusum kanganandio, dugo maris. Ta karachiksena rang sha, gyok sha, sadu, rang gitotana sha, sadu. Rang tole shagbi gabs, rigba rang tole shagbi gabs, sug shagos, rigba rang shagorwa. Rigba rang tole shag, rigba rang la teba ina. Tene taya tang tashi nins yomara, tower shavi yurtang, tower shiva ni meva indu, rigba chibur chandra. The jig say a tayon, nazo ta ni ma imbi jim sangi, jig segore mato, yon jig to trabayon yomara, te indu. 나 르빙 오월 때바이나 드네 다 르응ongone 통네 때바이나 디캅스네 가서 즉 나완다마다 샤리아 가서 인지 룩소리 냠 experience 저는 그 사마레 너는 대 샤리오 말스 대 샤르 송아이나 되는 surval레병 surval레 사바이나 surval레 인지도 제바로 surval레 가르세나 대도 동영 칸리지 요르지글 때네 되는 롱근 surval레 레병 거 surval레 송아이나 되네 따왕 메톨 렘네 똑바용 탁바테 줄게 탑요 말스 대인도 롱자 정야 롱 브릭빈스 다 르바 랑밥 된 적바테 되네 단내 제휴대 대래서
So here on page 111, it says with this kind of thing that starts with in brief in English. So here is a summary of this chapter. So this whole set of teachings talks about the view, the meditation, and the conduct in the context of Dzogchen practice. And so here, this is a summary of the conduct of the Dzogchen practitioner. And so whatever appears, whatever we experience, whatever objects there are that arise to the mind, so there is no antidote. We don't apply any antidote. And so here, whatever arises, normally in the sutra teachings, the secret mantra teachings, the bodhisattva teachings, and so forth, we have the varieties of antidotes to afflictive emotions. In the lower vehicles, there is abandoning afflictive emotions. In the Mahayana, there is transforming afflictive emotions. In the Vajrayana, there is recognizing the ultimate nature of afflictive emotions, and so forth. Here, one does not engage at all. So it says here, without any effort, without abandoning, without applying any antidote, we just rest naturally. We rest letting things be and remain as they are. And in this self-relaxed way, we abide naturally within awareness. And so here, abiding within awareness, we see the nature of the mind. We see how things truly are. But there is no object to be seen. And so this term awareness, rikpa here, it has this meaning that really here in the Dzogchen tradition, rikpa, the essence of awareness, is a single thing. It is not duality. So if we are talking about rikpa here in this context of Dzogchen, then there is not a duality. There is no awareness of something else. Awareness here in this context implies the non-dual awareness of the ground of everything. So there's not like a subject, object, and so forth. And so when we talk about all the various appearances, or in the West we talk about all, maybe we could use in English the word experiences to describe things even beyond just outer, visual appearances, but all the experiences that we have. Here, there is no effort that we apply. If we are trying to, apply some type of effort, and if we are grasping at, various experiences and using some antidote for them, then it is not the authentic Dzogchen meditation of cutting through Trekchu. The authentic meditation, and especially the conduct here in this context, the way that we abide and dwell and act as a Dzogchen practitioner is we rest naturally, and in this self-resting state without fabricating anything. This is really the most important point.
Thank you. Yeah, that's, we still need to rely on time, day and night, and food and clothes. So we are very limited. I think we will stop here. Of course, online people maybe can stay longer because your day is younger or something, but somehow we need to stop today here and our teaching and then continue tomorrow. So please come back. There's much more to learn, and it's fun to learn together rather than I by myself in a doctorate room with no lights and chanting some verses rather than I would love to see people, and so we do dedication and then we stop here.
Page 24. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Trigumpa Ratnasri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tomorrow, 10.
Can I see you tomorrow?
Why do they use self-liberation instead of something like selfless recognition or something? Because I guess recognition is...
Well, it does say self. So the word's wrong,
But, I see, the actual Tibetan.
as opposed to selfless.
I see.
I mean, to have some kind of consistency. I mean, yeah.
I see. So, yeah, it is the author, Longchenpa, after all.
Well, you know, it's kind of subtle. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
I think when translating Longchenpa, yeah, it's good to have something that other lamas could use. Or something. I don't know. If we're just writing inspired poetry,
In English.
inspired by Longchenpa's Chuyingzi, then we could say whatever we want. They say self-liberation. They should say selfless liberation.
Selfless recognition.
Selfless natural liberation. I don't know.
Right, yeah, who knows? Yeah, it's all still words, it's all embedded in subject, object, verb. So, yeah.
Self